But that was old news.
A lot of us are programmers, and frankly, I cannot sell like water to a like parched person dying. So literally, when we're coming back to like, how do you set a sales process? And you said it's like setting a engineering thing, but at the end of it, it's yeah, it would just kill me to try and sell anything to anybody, and it would kill the other person also in the process. So any tips on that?
For the benefit of this guy, name and company.
I'm Akshat. I'm the founder of BlogVault.
Okay.
We do backups for websites.
Hi, I'm Akanksha. I'm the founder of 52 Metrics. The lady who Paras mentioned was behind 2 failed startups with him. But yeah, so Akshat, I totally was thinking about the same thing, that you know, the personality of the founder also plays a role in the initial sales process. So in fact, me being an introvert, even if I'm not a programmer, it's just very hard to, you know, initially get on a call with someone who's completely indifferent to what you've built, and just try to, you know, convince them. But and I saw that initially in one of the 2 calls, that I was not selling something, but I just wanted to get their feedback, and I started really jittering, and this other person had to really calm me down, that, you know, it's all right, I understand you. But then the same thing happened with me. I sort of devised a pattern of questions that would follow up. So I started cold emailing hundreds of emails every day to figure out the pivot that I'm working out right now. And anyone and everyone who could get on a call with me, I would get on a call with them. And I totally knew by the end of 10, 15 calls that these are the set of questions that these people are going to ask, and I have the answers to them. So the next time when, you know, I have to train someone, then I totally know what would be the questions that would be asked, and I totally know the product inside out as well from the perspective of the person who's going to use it. So even if you are an introvert, I think this is something that a founder has to go through, and without it, nothing is going to work out. I mean, there is no magic person that you can plug and play in the product to, you know, get your sales.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. He responded to his question. Yeah.
You know, I just, Grace, thanks for the intro. I'm glad this question was asked, and actually it's not the first time folks have wondered about that. I've been in the Valley for more than 20 years, and, you know, have a lot of times founders who are technical background, and you say, you know, I can't sell it. But I wholeheartedly agree. You're your biggest salesperson, period. It's actually in you. You have that passion. That's why you built it. It may take a while, you know, unless you have a co-founder who let's say might have a commercial, more business background. You're going to have to develop that. And I've seen folks, you know, selling fairly effectively. I worked at Yahoo. Both our co-founders were, you know, if you will, they were PhDs from Stanford, right? They were not really from the business background. And I saw Jerry operate as the most smooth salesperson. I mean, he did the biggest deal when it comes to Alibaba, right? That Jerry did, you know, Jerry Semmel didn't do. So I mean, there are many, many examples. You just have to believe in that. You have to inspire others, the folks that you will bring on as salespeople, to be able to sell. So that is something I feel pretty strongly you're going to have to overcome. And I think you probably already have. Maybe you don't realize it, but I would strongly agree with the point that was raised over here. Because I think earlier, as you said, hiring a VP of sales too soon before you have established what the value prop is, it will not work. So just wanted to reiterate that is true also in the Valley, not just here in India.
Okay, now we are going to go to this side of the room.
Yeah, I will add to that. Actually, I am a coder too. I am not a people person. So, what I would suggest, yeah, I am Sanmay, CEO of Slick Account. We make small businesses profitable by taking their accounting data and predicting what profit would be or something pricing would be. So, like that. Yeah, some way. So, we are progressing to be more accurate into that. So anyway, so what I would suggest is that don't sell. As simple as that. Okay, just understand your customer, sit with them, and who probably can be your customer or something like prospecting kind of stuff. Okay, so and understand what questions they are raising, what are in their mind, and you discover this is actually a product question. It would be morely like. So if you are coding, if you are doing the product, you should understand what they are feeling about it, about the whole process. It should not be the product, it should not be the tool. Actually they are searching for a solution. That's important. Okay, so what is in their mind, what is the question? Like what we asked is that it is a profitability tool. Okay, so what we asked is that when the last time you felt you were profitable. So they told us that this is sometimes when I had to borrow something and I could borrow it, okay, or I could buy it. So I had that money. So I felt that time profitable. So turning that into an example, and because we are not salespeople, okay, turning that into an example and giving them, and then they will tell the questions they want to ask. Okay, then figure it out and give it to the salespeople. That I would say.
Actually, I think he makes a very valuable point, and I would like to just amplify that a little bit. I think as a SaaS product, the biggest sales or marketing tool that we have is the product itself, and we have a 30-day trial, right? So we are not actually selling. What we are trying to do is, the best way is to let the customer or the prospect discover the value from the tool. And so we always lead with pre-sales. We are not talking about pricing, we are not talking about commercials, we are not trying to sell about how this is going to make their life better. We are trying to ask them, this is what we do, by the way. So like, what challenges do you have today? And during the trial we'll show you how this can make it better, and once they see the value, then they buy, right? So it's more like a discovery process. I think that's what he's trying to say, and it's a very valid point. I think he was...
So one of the, at least from my personal experience, right? So one of the best ways that we have always sold, or we continue to do that, is doing customer support, right? So we don't look at it as sales, right? So you start with looking at it as just customer support. It's just that you don't even call it pre-sales, right? Mostly, you are trying to give the solution in the perspective of the prospect, and then trying to tell them how this tool is just going to make their life better, and then that's how you end up actually making a sale. And at some point of time, right, we start breaking down these roles so that we are able to bring in people who will do this job a lot better, and that's where this whole pre-sales, inside sales, doing customer support, and then the post-sales customer success teams comes into play, right? So I just want to take this cue to move the topic to the next one about any other particular role that you want to talk about.
There is one question here.
So not the question, but an interesting case of how we did that in VoiceTree. So I pretty much started sales before the product was even ready for us, and it was almost three months before the product was ready. And I had a salesperson who used to go and pitch along. I could not follow up because again was a coder and could not chase the client, but built a 1 or 2% team and used to follow. We almost sold 15 customers before the product was even launched. I realized good thing about that was iteration ought to happen in even sales process, in even pitch, in even what we are building. So when we are talking to the customers, it gives us fair idea like what should we build. So when we are reaching out to the customer, they were talking about, do you have these features? So yes, we have these features, and we used to plan that, okay, we have to develop these features. So by the time when we launched the product, we knew what customers were really looking for, and we built that around the product. We launched when the very minimal viable product in March 2013. Very same month we got another 15 customers. So we were really confident that okay, we are building on the right direction, because we were already having customers who paid before even using the product. Probably a lot of people when talked about the Indian market, that was a good thing that happened because of Indian market. There was not much alternatives available, and people were ready to pay without even looking at the product at that time, which gave us the boost to start in Indian market and start with a probably no online presence and start selling. I didn't knew it was SaaS. For quite a long, I was just selling it as a software and I could help businesses. It was very later I realized, okay, it's SaaS and I should build around it and all. But by the time I already had 200-300 customers running on VoiceTree. So that was differently how I approached probably software to SaaS. So okay.
One day I mean,
just.
You don't have to even sell the product, give it by year, just
A little bit.
I had one.
There is one more. Yeah, can you get a mic?
So my question or the problem that I think I'm Raghu from Yellow Messenger, messaging to businesses. The problem is I think with the when your product is actually targeting a lot of smartphone wielding businesses, basically of very low value. Let's say your sales is actually a download of an app by a business owner, right? You're talking about like $5, $10 per month kind of stuff. Obviously, outbound marketing, I think we talked about the context of actually calling and probably converting into sales. How effective are the channels like SMS, email, where you kind of automate this, especially when you're considering a large smartphone yielding business owners, where sale is actually probably a download of an app. So I just wanted to kind of see some experiences in that mobile app, yeah.
So I think the question is, it's like a mobile app.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a mobile app, but subscription.
with a subscription, yeah, obviously.
Okay. So
Mobile app subscription.
you want to take it, Pawan? No. No, no.
See what this is Vivek. We have a SaaS product here, IBE, which is for travel businesses. In my opinion, whenever we have tried selling, so just we share what they are expecting, and if it is not practical. For example, one of the very big leading travel businesses in Chennai asked me, I want to make my web sport business like my trip, can I do? So I said no, don't even dream of it with what you are planning now. So make them, realize what is truth. It is education, it is storytelling, whatsoever way you can do it. If you are honest in that, I'm sure it works. I mean, at least my experience is that.
So quick check. Anybody wants to answer?
Anyone with
Mobile app.
sold mobile app or subscription, yeah.
So in my previous company, it's called Applied Mobile Labs. It's still running. If you want to become a customer of theirs.
Mrigank, introduce yourself.
Sorry. So my name is Mrigank Tripathi. I'm the founder and CEO of Question Technologies. We are a digital learning and engagement platform on a SaaS environment. This is my second startup. So in the previous company, what we used to do is we used to help companies get more and more leads for their products. Now, what it sounds like me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, what it sounds like me is you just need to get your app downloaded from a paying customer. Am I broadly right? So if that's the case, we should go offline. And I'll actually connect you to the company. We do that for lots of companies, including Snapdeal, Flipkart, Jabong, and a whole host of companies for app downloads. And given the fact that you're trying to target small businesses, I'm assuming that's what your target is, then there might be, if there is a value proposition, they might be able to help you. Yeah. And we work across all the mediums that you mentioned, in SMS, voice, blah, blah, all that. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hi. My name is Bill. We have the company is Webru, but we have a product called TeamChat, which is like a WhatsApp for businesses. So to that question of distributing mobile app to businesses, I think, we've gone through this exact thought process, and at least the things that we've learned, make it as frictionless as possible every step of the way, right? So the app itself is free. The premium service comes later, so it's easily available in the App Store. In most of my meetings, usually, I can demo it right there, or even if it's remote, people can download the app in 30 seconds and, we set it up. And the other part is, once people download the app, right, at least in our case, think of it as an empty room problem. I mean, if you see an empty app, how do you learn, how do you discover what it's for, what you can use it for, and so on. So there are some automated tools or some discovery elements, because people don't go through tours and such. So we've set up a bot, for example, that communicates or messages them and things like that. So I think there's a bunch of different elements. Make it simple, make it easy, make it frictionless, and you can track on the back end who's using it, how are they using it, and you can follow up with them. So suddenly you can, distribute it easily and still upsell, cross-sell later as it comes here.
Thank you. So I'm going to just summarize that one point which there was a lot of discussion on how the founder needs to learn the sales process, learn the objections, the questions that will be asked, and then once that's perfected, then you go and build out your sales team. So I'm going to ask Avlesh, who can share something about how to build the sales team. See, now as a founder that you have understood the sales process, now how are you going to build out the sales team as a SaaS company?
Thanks, Ganesh. I'm Avlesh, co-founder at WebEngage. Does it work? It does. So the kind of questions that that came across, it definitely explains the diverse audience that we are. People in different stages, different problems, different aspirations. Early stage is a beast. Nobody has an answer. I'm sorry. Nobody knows. It's only you. And go figure. The sooner the better. The only way you can sell is just by doing it yourself. Nobody else can sell for you. A lot of people said hire a VP sales, don't hire a VP sales. The best VP sales is not going to work for you. Who are you? If I were a VP sales and a guy worth my money, why would I choose you? Who are you? I don't care less about your existence. So when you need to hire the best people, that is only when you succeed. There's no other way you succeed. When you need to hire the best people, you have to get the groundwork done. You can only attract talent when you're not garbage. It's as simple as that. So the first set of things, the problem is we get stuck in that. We don't know when it lasts. I got stuck in it for almost 2 years. I don't know how long that cycle is for you. Different people have different cycles. The sooner we come out of it is the sooner we are ready to build a sales org. A sales organization is a very different beast altogether. These people, they have done it. I'm actually learning it on my way. We hired a sales guy, a VP sales guy. This was almost a year ago. Super hit guy, very awesome person to work with. Ex-Microsoft, 20 years. I just loved working with him. But you know what changed? I started believing more into outreach. I never was supposed to be a product. My average ticket size is $200, $250 a month right now. It used to be like $100 back then. We are on the enterprise heavy side, so that's where we make money. That's where it is around 20,000, 25,000 annual contracts. That's where most of the business is. Even within that, and that too in a shitty market like India, we used to do outreach to sell. It worked. I'm not saying that it didn't. A lot of things worked. But you start believing into that this is the only way out, because that's what you've done for the last 1 year, because this is how it has worked. So I had 6 people, excluding me, plus me, 7. We were on the field, always, all the time, selling. We did great for ourselves. I cannot replicate that anywhere else. How would I do this in UK? How could I possibly do this in UK? And I'm not lucky like him. I don't have money. How do you do this? Yeah, your luck is sitting there. So it's a very difficult one to actually get traction into. The more you avoid, the better it is. Ticket sizes of mine, which is 15 to 20K in that segment, and I believe most of you operate in that segment, they can be desk sold. For most part, yes, they can be. Realizing and learning it was very difficult for me, very, very difficult for me. After having spent the gentleman from iWiz, same set of emotions. And then what we did there was got this guy from Dhruva, which is one of these enterprise backup companies. He has recently joined us, and now what we're doing is absolutely a different beast, which is what Chris talked about. You have different set of people doing different things. First, you figure out how you generate leads. Girish will get you the answer. Then you figure out how do you qualify these leads. There is a separate set of people to do that. Then you put those leads into what we call as corporate sales executives, inside sales people. They know how to actually get to the guy, pitch the right tone, get the right persona, and then make the pitch, get to closer. And towards closer, you may need, so even today I have to get on closures. I have to get it through. There are other people, 3-4 people who do that. But we're trying to get this engine sorted. And this engine in itself starts from lead funnel. Until you have figured that out, until you know that you can feed your people with X amount of leads every month, every day, you are not ready to build your sales org. Until then, you do it yourself.